with the TRABANT across the Pacific. From Kalgoorlie to Laverton and the damaged TRABANT. I thought that I wouldn't have to speak up sooner than from Alice Springs, from the middle of Australia. Excluding different gravity, when nothing happened to Dominica and Radek after huge falls, also mechanical and physical laws work differently. We do not know why, whether it was bad oil, petrol, or poor preparation, but we damaged the engine again, this time with the TRABANT. After 4 days in Kalgoorlie at a guy named Laurie's house, who allowed us to not only sleep at his place, but also to fix our broken vehicles, we were back on the road after the hard Holland track. We passed the largest surface gold mine in the world and slept just a few kilometers outside the town. The next day, we continued endlessly on a straight asphalt road, and other than a lizard, which we chased and recorded, nothing special happened the whole day. I love the hills and unpaved roads, but also flat and boring ones are not bad. A person on a motorcycle can relax and think about all the possibilities and impossibilities. For example, why are the flies so annoying in Australia? In the evening, we arrived to the abandoned town of Gwalia, where nobody lives now. It used to be a really nice and interesting town, but when all the gold disappeared, everybody left. Houses and garages stayed preserved with the original equipment and tools. It is really interesting that nobody steals anything from here. Australia is just completely somewhere different than Slovakia, where something like this could not operate without being guarded. We got up early in the morning to be in Laverton City as soon as possible. The Great Central Road starts here, for which we had to prepare plenty of food and especially water. It is a 1,500-kilometer long dirt road to the city of Alice Springs. About 20 kilometers outside of Laverton, everybody expected one TRABANT, and I was listening to the sound of my Jawa idling, which was really weird. I thought that it is going to be damaged again, because also the power was not the way it should have been. After a quarter of an hour of waiting, we were coming back together to search for the TRABANT. About 10 kilometers behind us was already lit and was half dismantled. We wondered what was happening, and Dan was screaming that it is damaged. I said to myself in my head that we are probably cursed. On the way, we discussed the whole engine and we found out that the worst possible thing happened. The rod down on the crank was damaged. The bearing was fully baked and the connecting rod couldn't even move. Of course, we did not have a substitute crank, and with no signal, we really did not know what we were going to do. After 1 hour, a road train passed around a stop. The driver was talking with us, and when he saw the disassembled engine of the TRABANT, he laughed very hard. He couldn't stop laughing. He called his friend Andy, who works as a mechanic in Laverton, to come to tow us away and told him that he'd never seen this in his life. After a while came a genuine, very dirty mechanic named Andy on an old-style Peugeot and towed us to Laverton. It is a small town which has only 361 inhabitants, of which half are Aboriginal. 10 years ago, 2,000 people lived here. Fortunately, there was a signal and also internet, so we could solve the shipping of the spare crankshaft. After 24 hours, we found out that it wouldn't be here in less than a week, so each of us had to make up our own program. Radek decided to pull the engine out from the Maluka so the TRABANT was not sad and repaired the exhaust on it. We were making fun of him because it was already the 4th time he pulled the engine out, and we were asking him whether the motor had to be pulled out even if only the blinker needs to be repaired. Marcin, Vojto, Kika, and I hitchhiked to the Cosmo Newberry Aboriginal community, and after 2 days of hitchhiking, when we thought that it was really not going to work, one old man who was sorry that no one wanted to stop for us lent us his old Ford. Australia is really crazy, and crazy things are happening to us here. Over the weekend, we should have everything fixed. Perhaps it will all go according to our plans, and I will again speak up from the center of Australia when I get to Alice Springs. Cross your fingers.